I'm Dr. Gritz, and welcome to Sociology. Today we're going to take a look at racial and ethnic inequality. We just finished gender inequality, and now we're going to look at another marginalized group. Gender was last week, and now racial and ethnic inequality. So as we begin to take a look at these marginalized groups, this inequality, first, let's decide exactly, well, what's the difference besides the bubble that you fill out? So what is the actual difference between a race and an ethnicity? Do you know? A race is based on a physical feature, a physical characteristic, like the color of your skin. So we would have different groups like white, Asian, black, right? Set apart because of a physical. An ethnicity is set apart because of a cultural or an origin difference. So somebody is set apart because of their cultural beliefs, their different beliefs. We can have Polish people as an ethnicity. Jewish is an ethnicity. Now, wait a second. I thought Judaism was a religion. Well, because of its strong cultural practices, it is an ethnicity. So members of different racial and ethnic groups often are considered minority status. What is a minority? Are you a minority? I'm a minority. A minority just means a group whose members have significantly less power over their lives. Okay, so what does that mean? What does it mean? Well, maybe you're underrepresented. Maybe there aren't as much in your group represented. So, well, that's underrepresented, right? Right? Okay, so we would say that other people can exert their will on you. 5 properties of a minority status or minority group. 5 of them. The first one is, well, obviously you have a physical or a cultural difference. That's how we got here, right? The second one is that you experience unequal treatment. So as a minority, you have a physical or racial difference, a physical or ethnic difference. You experience unequal treatment. Third, you're usually born into the group. You're born into it. Fourth, oftentimes you marry within the same group. And the last property of a minority group, although you're a minority group, you still have pride, group solidarity. So remember, as we look at theories behind this, the functionalist perspective would look at minority status as serving certainly, I don't know, somehow fits into our system. It functions in society, maybe giving us workers work that nobody else wants to do. You know, having a minority status, you're more inclined to have to do the work that nobody does. Another functionalist approach to minority group would be that it instills group pride, that the members, if you are a minority, do you feel group pride? So that would be one of the functions of a minority status, right? All right, so as we move away from, now we know what a minority status is, we said unequal treatment. What does that really mean? What does it stem from? What is unequal treatment? Well, we can look at prejudice. Prejudice means a negative attitude towards an entire group of people. A negative attitude towards that whole group of people. So you don't see people individually, you just say that group, prejudice, bad, negative. Racism is the belief that one race is supreme above all others. The real belief, innate. So we know Hitler believed in the Aryan race. He believed that that was the supreme race. Prejudice, right? What's the difference between prejudice and discrimination? Well, I'm going to tell you. Prejudice is an attitude. It's a negative attitude. When we look at society, from negative attitudes leads to behaviors. So discrimination is the behavior. And so we can see from our negative attitudes towards certain social groups, by declaring them lower status, we marginalize them. We make it okay to then discriminate. So first, we make a negative attitude, thereby allowing for conformity to perpetuate this marginalization of these groups. So this is just an introduction into, as I said, race, ethnicity, minority status, what that does, and then what are the implications for society? What happens when the minority and the majority come together, especially when this majority's got this discrimination, don't forget, and this prejudice? What happens? What are the patterns of interaction? So sociology suggests 4 different patterns of interaction when minority and majority come together. The first pattern is called amalgamation. Amalgamation, pretty cool term, right? So amalgamation is when several groups, majority and minority, come together, and through relationships and intermarriage and over time, they form a whole new group through intermarriage. It's amalgamation. So this minority and majority marries, and they make a baby, and they make a baby, and eventually, guess what? A whole new group. So it would be like A plus B, we get a baby C, right? A whole new group. That's amalgamation. That's the pattern that we can see. So we can move from amalgamation, right, to the next pattern, which is called assimilation. Assimilation. Assimilation is when you are a minority and you move into the majority group and you decide, I don't like my culture so much, I'm going to forsake some of it. I want to be more like that majority. I want to move in, I want to assimilate into their patterns. So I just know for myself, growing up as an American, I wanted Christmas so bad, but I was Jewish and we didn't have it. Bummer, right? So I wanted to wake up, go down Christmas morning, open up all those gifts. Never happened. But as an adult, I assimilated. You better believe it. I bought so many Christmas trees. In fact, Christmas throws up every year in my house because I've assimilated. I have forsake some of my own tradition and moved in to the majority tradition. Maybe some of you come from a minority status and the first thing you want to do is change your name, I know my uncle who comes from Cuba many, many years ago, when he first came here, hi Uncle Jose. No. He was assimilating into American. I'm called Joe. You call me Joe now, right? And if I forgot, I said, Uncle Jose, no, Joe. So maybe you're a child of immigrants. Maybe you're a child of first generation. Maybe you are minority status and you want to assimilate. So when you were little and you open that lunch pail and there's some beans and rice or some other culturally rich, yummy food from home, I don't want that. I want to be a true-blooded American. Give me a Lunchable. Give me peanut butter and jelly. I don't care how bad it is, right? So you want to assimilate. So we have amalgamation, we have assimilation, and then we have that thing called separation. Now, that's a physical barrier between the minority and the majority. But I want you to understand when groups come together, what happens, I want you to understand you can assimilate, you can amalgamate, you can pretty much segregate yourselves. I mean, when we talk about segregation, we're not talking about court ordered, we had whites and blacks segregated, but we segregate ourselves, minority and majority. Look at the lunchroom when we go back. Go to the mix. It's the same high school lunchroom. Different groups at different tables. We are comfortable when we segregate ourselves. We segregate ourselves in terms of work, right? Where we live, our social relationships. Look at areas, they're occupied by different minority groups. So we must feel good amongst ourselves. It's just a pattern we do. We segregate ourselves and stay. The last pattern is multiculturalism. That's that pattern that we're looking for, pluralism. When all the majority and minority come together, we respect one another. Yes, you wear your outfit, I wear mine, I eat my food, I pray to whomever, and we all live in harmony, a melting pot. Pluralism. That would be what we really want when people come together. We respect each other, right? You don't have to embrace my particular patterns of my particular race or ethnicity. You can have yours and I can have mine. Wouldn't that be really cool? But if you look historically, no, we have gone from genocide, right? Extermination. We expel people, get away if you're a minority. We partition you, right? It's pretty sad if you think about it, that one human being believes he is superior to another. If everybody just saw themselves as a human, we could really get along much better. We would end this discrimination and prejudice, and we wouldn't have this racial and ethnic inequality. We'd have to come up with a new chapter, right? So this is just a brief look into racial and ethnic inequality. Thanks and have a great day.